this run has been unbelievable. And listen, going back to the first round against the Leafs, we've talked about this ad nauseum, okay? I wasn't sold because the Leafs outscored the Habs, outshot the Habs, outchanced the Habs. Jack Campbell had a better save percentage than Carey Price. No John Tavares. And the Leafs had a very good chance to win that series and probably should have won that series. We all know they choked it away. So I wasn't sold on them yet. Then you go into that second series against the Winnipeg Jets, and Mark Scheifele gets suspended game one, and that obviously had a big effect on the series. But Winnipeg just looked terrible. They couldn't, again, I'm not taking I'm not taking things away from Montreal and saying they didn't deserve it, but Winnipeg looked like very good.
Winnipeg looked like shit against the Oilers too.
Yeah, they looked bad. I think we can all admit that Winnipeg was probably like one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the playoffs this year, even though they swept Edmonton in the first round. Yeah. So even after that series, I'm like, you know what? Now they're facing Vegas. Like, this is the real test. And like you mentioned, Lepore, that was the best the Habs played all playoffs. Like, that to me was super impressive. What they were able to do in that series to completely shut down the Vegas forward attack and to really outplay them, especially the second half of that series. Because the first 2 or 3 games, you could say that Vegas had the edge just in terms of, controlling the play and possession and all those things. But towards the end of that series, man, it was all Montreal, and they completely deserved it. So what the hell did we miss here, Lepore, with this Montreal Canadiens team? Because one other thing I'll bring up, like, this is a team that is enjoying like one of the most like outlier things you could possibly imagine, and that's their penalty kill.
Yeah.
The Montreal Canadiens right now have a 93.5% penalty kill in the playoffs. It is the best penalty kill in NHL history.
Yep.
Among teams that have played at least 15 games in a single postseason. They have not allowed a power play goal in 2 straight series. So when you have something like that, and when you add that to the way that Carey Price has been playing and the way that they've committed to their defensive structure and some timely goal scoring from Cole Caulfield, I mean, then maybe it lines up. But Lepore, man, I'm having a difficult time just like looking at their regular season, even looking at some of the things they did in the playoffs and making all of this make sense. But like I said, it all started to come together for me when I saw what they did to the Vegas Golden Knights. So what's your take on that?
For that penalty kill, what's the actual number? Like, how many have they killed?
I believe it's 43 of 46 that they've killed off.
So I think if I remember correctly, I saw that they've allowed 3 goals while being shorthanded and scored 4.
Yes, that is correct as well.
Yeah, they have a positive goal differential shorthanded. Like,
which is
in the list of like, where am I? Like, where am I? How is that possible? But I think it's like it's kind of like a perfect storm of things. I think when you're a team like that and you're playing a style like that, I think 2 things happen. Number one, as time goes on, and if it is successful, you just buy in more and you become more confident with it and more relaxed with it. And I think that is happening to Montreal. Like, now they go into penalty kills and they're not even going to flinch. They're not even worried. When teams dominate them like Vegas did in game 3, they're not worried. They're just, we've been here before. This is how we play. And then I think the biggest X factor here to me is Caulfield. He's changed this team. That kid is a stud. He is a scorer. He's going to be a star in this league for a long time. And I think it's the perfect thing right now that goes with how Montreal is playing, because we've talked about and laughed at before on the show. It seems like Montreal is getting a million breakaways. And then you're texting me during games like, how do they always score on breakaways?
They score on like literally every breakaway.
So it's one of those things where it's like you're watching it and you're saying to yourself, like, man, like, how is Montreal just getting all these like breakaways, on-man rushes, and coming back the other way? But as you watch it more and more, and as we get deeper into the playoffs, it's like, wow, this isn't an accident. Like, this is obviously some sort of system or thing they have planned where when they're hemmed, if they do get possession, it's like a quick strike attack the other way. So there's someone break off the boards or there's some sort of tip play. And that just goes perfectly with a player like Caulfield, because with a shot like that, he only needs one chance. You give him one, it's going in. Like that goal he scored the other night where he came from the outside. And
that
man,
was so sick.
The biggest thing to me, and like I love this shit. I totally love this shit. When he scored that goal, the look on his face, stern. He's to a point now, I know what I'm doing. I expect to score. He didn't even have a grin. He just looked his teammates in the face and put his arms in the air. So when you have a kid that confident, who's that good, who fits in perfectly with what Montreal is doing, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And again, how it plays on the other team. If you're playing against them, there's that thing of like, normally you should be very happy and confident when you have the puck in the other team's end. But you have one side of your brain telling you that, well, if we do get a scoring chance, it's against the best goalie on the planet. And then we also have to be aware that this team is comfortable with us in their own end. And God forbid, if we make a mistake, the smallest mistake, we have this roadrunner going back the other way who only needs one chance to go bar down. So these teams are probably playing nervous, even in the offensive zone. So, and like I said, you have teams playing nervous, and then you have Montreal totally comfortable. They are totally comfortable with how they're playing right now. And like I said, the longer this goes, the more relaxed they are with it and the more they believe in it. And this is one of the rare times I think something can really truly go away from the underlying numbers, because it's mental to them. It's just, we're okay getting dominated, outshot. And like you said, that's not really what happened in the Vegas series. I'm just saying more with like dominated in spurts of the game. Like if Vegas is snapping the puck around, or now it's going to be Tampa, we're not afraid, because we know we're used to this. We know we can handle it. And even running around, well, if running around, maybe we take a penalty. Well, we seem to be doing well with those too when we're shorthanded, and we got some firepower going back the other way. So I think the mistake we made, like you said, like kind of like what is Montreal, or like who are they? I think Caulfield turned this team on its head, because like I'll just say, like, remove Caulfield. Nah, they're in a lot of trouble.
They don't look nearly as dangerous.
They're not.
When you're watching these games, and not even from, looking at the stat sheet, Caulfield led that entire series with 4 goals. When you're watching these games, he is visibly the most dangerous player on the ice for the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah. Like when he has the puck on his stick in the offensive zone, and it doesn't have to be when he's coming in on the rush. When that guy gets any time and space in the offensive zone, he's a threat to score. Yeah. With his speed, his shooting ability, which is off the charts, just his offensive IQ, like you said, Lepore, he's going to be a star in this league for a very long time. And you're right. When you add that element into what they've been doing defensively, I mean, it's like a perfect recipe to go on a run like this. Yeah, it really is. And yeah, I mean, you can look at the regular season. Listen, they were bad in the regular season. Let's not sugarcoat this. They had a -9 goal differential. They finished 18th overall in the standings. They were 18th in goals against per game, 17th in goals scored per game. They had the 23rd ranked penalty kill. So they had the 23rd ranked PK in the regular season, and now they have the greatest penalty kill in NHL history.
I didn't even know that. Their penalty kill was 23rd.
23rd in the regular season in penalty kill.
There you go.
So
that's a stat, man. That is a stat. I'd like to see if there's ever been a swing like that in like a power play or penalty kill category from the regular season to the playoffs. That's a stat I'd love to see, because that's enormous.
It's wild. So that's why it is very difficult to make sense of all this. And I don't blame anyone, because a lot of people are in the same boat as us, just thinking like, how on earth did this happen? Yeah. And listen, the playoffs, it's a short sample. The Montreal Canadiens have played 17 games. They're 12-5. They've gotten really hot. They're getting amazing goaltending. You add in the game-breaking ability of Cole Caulfield, mixed in with this crazy outlier stat of them having the greatest penalty kill in the history of the NHL playoffs. Like, it's a perfect storm. And you know what? Credit to them. They're sticking to their identity. And Lepore, you made such a great point with the identity of the Montreal Canadiens. They fully understand how they need to win games and how they can be successful in the playoffs. And they are sticking to that identity. And honestly, it's pretty cool to see because they know exactly who they are. They are winning games basically in one way. Like they are playing the same style game in and game out, and they are sticking to it, whether they're leading, whether they're behind. And that's important come this time of year. So, you know what? Credit to the Montreal Canadiens for getting to this point.